It starts with coffee and a complete lack of emotional stability. I swear, I mutter, typing furiously at my desk. If Ethan Reed sends one more last-minute revision, I'm going to quit dramatically and move to Italy, Celia says through my earbuds. Fake my own death, I correct. Less paperwork. It's nearly 9 p.m. The office is empty, except for the faint hum of the AC and my slow descent into madness. The blue glow of my monitor feels personal at this point. I'm one more spreadsheet away from losing my soul. Celia laughs. You're obsessed with him. I'm annoyed by him. Those are adjacent emotions. I roll my eyes, sipping cold coffee. Celia, he's my boss, my grumpy, terrifying, control freak boss. You don't obsess over someone who calls PowerPoint transitions unprofessional. And yet you just said his name like it was a prayer. I groan and end the call. 10 minutes later, I'm packing in front of the break room fridge, recording a voice note for her instead. Okay, I say, whispering dramatically, I might be a little obsessed, but only because he's so infuriatingly perfect. Like, have you seen him? No, obviously you haven't, but his sleeves, always rolled up just enough to ruin my concentration. And that voice. I stop, breathe, laugh at myself. Anyway, point is, harmless crush, harmless, totally manageable. I hit send. The second I glance at my screen, my soul leaves my body. To Ethan Reed. Voice message sent. No. No. My thumb slips, I press and hold. Unsend message. The app mocks me. Voicemail already played. He LISDNED. I whisper scream into the fluorescent void. I freeze. Somewhere down the hall I hear footsteps. Steady, unhurried, getting closer. The door opens, and there he is, Ethan Reed, CEO, menace, and the unwilling star of my romantic humiliation. He leans against the doorframe, sleeves rolled up, a faint smirk tugging at his mouth. Interesting voicemail, Maya, he says. I wasn't aware my sleeves were such a distraction. My brain short-circuits. That was a rehearsal. For what? I blink, for not getting fired. He laughs, quiet, low, and devastating. We'll discuss your performance tomorrow, preferably without confessions. And then he walks away, leaving me in the break room, clutching my phone like a crime scene weapon. Morning comes too soon. My alarm blares, my dignity's still missing, and the ghost of my voicemail hovers over me like a bad perfume. Celia's text is waiting when I unlock my phone. Celia, you sent what to WHO? Me, we're not talking about it. Celia, Maya. Me, he heard. Celia, you're dead. I loved you so much. Me, thank you for your support in this difficult time. By the time I get to the office, I've practiced exactly 12 different ways to act normal. I fail immediately. Morning, sunshine, Callum says as I pass his desk. His smirk tells me he knows. Don't, I warn. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, he says. Although the boss has been oddly cheerful this morning. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? I glare. You're enjoying this way too much. Of course, I live for chaos. I'm halfway to my cubicle when the intercom clicks. Maya Hart, to my office, please. Ethan's voice, deep, calm, lethal. I briefly consider climbing out the nearest window. His office looks exactly the way he does. Too neat, too serious, probably smells expensive. He doesn't look up when I enter. Close the door, he says. My pulse sprints a marathon. I obey. I reviewed your quarterly reports, he starts. Oh, thank God. Maybe he's going to pretend the voicemail never. Solid work, he continues, finally looking up. Though I am curious about your extracurricular activities. There it is. I freeze. I don't have extracurriculars. He tilts his head. So, no late-night creative performances. No dramatic monologues about your boss's forearms. My soul leaves my body again. Mr. Reed, I say, hands trembling. That voicemail was a private. Well, it was supposed to be private. And also, in my defense, you do roll your sleeves a lot. His lips twitch. Duly noted. He leans back, fingers steepled. Tell me, Maya, should I be flattered or file an HR report? I'd prefer the first one, I mumble. He laughs quietly, but the sound is warm enough to melt every last brain cell I have. I'll let it go, he says finally. Just try not to send me any more confessions during business hours. Noted, I manage. As I turn to leave, he adds, almost too softly, though, for the record, I don't mind the distraction. I stumble into the hallway, face burning. Callum raises an eyebrow as I pass. Still employed? Barely. He grins. Good, I have money riding on you too. That night, as I collapse onto my couch, Celia calls. So, she demands, what happened? I died, got resurrected, and somehow still have a job. She snorts. Classic you. I sigh. He said he'd let it go. But he smirked. Oh no, Celia says. You're doomed. I swear Ethan Reed has made it his personal mission to haunt me. It starts small. An extra glance in meetings. A flicker of amusement when our hands brush while passing documents. Then the comments begin. Good presentation, Maya, he says on Tuesday. Very passionate. I choke on my coffee. Callum coughs to hide a laugh. On Wednesday, he passes by my desk and murmurs, no voice notes today, shame. I'm living in humiliation's purgatory. By Friday, I've learned that Ethan Reed has two smiles. The polite, CEO-approved one he uses on investors. And the other one. The slow, devastating one that makes my neurons file for bankruptcy. We're alone in the conference room, reviewing reports. He stands beside me, close enough that I can smell his cologne, something dark and clean, like storm clouds and terrible decisions. My focus, non-existent. So, he says casually, how's your communication lately? I blink. Excuse me. He looks at me over the papers. You know, your habit of sending unscheduled messages. I nearly drop my pen. That was one time. Ah, he says, lips curving. Once, but memorable. He walks away before I can respond, leaving me flustered, furious, and unfortunately very aware of how good he looks doing absolutely nothing. At lunch, I vent to Celia over text. Me, he's teasing me, like deliberately. Celia, he's flirting. Me, he's tormenting. Celia, same thing if he's hot enough. She's not helping. By the end of the day, I'm in the elevator when he steps in beside me. Of course. The doors close, the air thickens. Heading home, he asks. Yes, I say quickly. Far away, very far. He chuckles. You make it sound like you're escaping me. I grip my bag tighter. Who said I'm not? He leans slightly closer. Then you'll fail. My brain short-circuits. WHY that, I stammer. He looks straight ahead, voice low. Because I always catch up. The elevator dings. He steps out first, calm, collected, infuriating. I'm left behind, wondering if I just got flirted with or threatened in the most attractive way possible. That night, Celia sends one final message. Celia, if this turns into a rom-com, I want royalties. I bury my face in a pillow. Too late. It already has. T starts with rain. Not the gentle, poetic kind, the biblical flood kind. By 6 p.m., the office is nearly empty. Everyone's fled for cover except me, my cursed sense of responsibility, and the storm outside hammering against the glass. I'm halfway through finalizing a report when the lights flicker. Then, darkness. I freeze. Oh no, no. Still hear heart. I jump. Ethan's voice cuts through the dark, smooth and deep as ever. Of course he's still here. Of course the universe hates me. Power out, I say, which is obvious, because the building looks like a haunted museum now. He steps closer, phone light in hand, his face half lit in gold. Seems so, he says. I was going to leave, but the storms flooded the street. So we're stuck. He glances toward the windows, rain hammering like an angry drum. Afraid so. The backup lights flicker on, bathing everything in soft, amber gloom. It feels weirdly intimate, like the whole city disappeared, and now it's just us. I clear my throat. Well, this isn't awkward at all. He smirks. Depends who you ask. I shoot him a look. Don't start. Start what? Whatever that is, the teasing thing. Oh, he says innocently, the thing that makes you blush. I groan. You're insufferable. Maybe, he says, but you're smiling. I am, and I hate that he's right. Minutes stretch. We end up sitting side by side on the conference table, the rain roaring outside. He loosens his tie, and there goes my ability to form coherent thoughts. Tell me something, he says quietly. What? That voicemail. I choke on air. We are not talking about the voicemail. He laughs low and warm. Fine, then tell me something else. Like what? He turns slightly toward me, eyes softer than I've ever seen them. Something real. My heart trips. I should deflect, joke, escape, but the words slip out before I can stop them. I didn't mean for you to hear it, I say, but I also didn't lie. Silence, just rain. Then, Maya, his voice is quiet, almost dangerous. You have no idea what that does to me. My pulse stutters. I look up, and the lights flicker again, snapping both of us out of it. He exhales, rubs a hand over his jaw. You should head home once the rain lets up. I nod, pretending my entire nervous system isn't melting. When I finally leave, the streets are slick, the air still humming with thunder. But my mind isn't on the storm. It's on the way he said my name, like it wasn't just a name anymore. Monday morning. The storm's gone, the awkward tension, still very much alive and thriving. I walk into the office like a woman on a mission, operation, professional distance. No blushing, no stuttering, no remembering how his voice sounded when he said my name. It lasts 8 minutes. Because 8 minutes in, Ethan walks in wearing a charcoal suit and rolled sleeves. Why does he even have forearms like that? Morning, Maya, he says like nothing happened. Morning, I manage, tone robotic enough to qualify for a factory job. He raises a brow. You sound enthusiastic. I'm fine. You're glaring at your coffee. I like to assert dominance over my beverages. A small smirk. Noted. By lunchtime, everyone can feel the tension, including Callum, who clearly lives for drama. He corners me near the break room. So, the storm. Anything interesting happen while you were trapped with our beloved overlord? I shoot him a look. No. He leans in conspiratorially. Because he smiled at you this morning. Ethan Reed doesn't smile, he broods. Maybe he found a new brand of coffee. Or maybe, Callum says, he's found a new brand of trouble. I consider throwing my muffin at him. Later that day, Ethan calls me into his office. Again. I enter, very aware of how small the space feels when it's just the two of us. Close the door, he says. My internal monologue, that's never a good sign. He leans back in his chair. We should talk about boundaries. Great idea, I blurt. I love boundaries, huge fan, big supporter. He chuckles. I'm sure you are. I cross my arms. So, what kind of boundaries? The kind that keep things professional. Right, professional, totally. We stare at each other for a beat too long. Then he says, softly, so why do I still want to call you Maya instead of Ms. Hart? My heart stumbles. Because you're bad at boundaries. He smiles, slow, wicked. Apparently. When I leave his office, my brain is fried. My pulse is wild, and Callum's watching with a grin that says he's writing fanfiction in his head. Still denying it, he asks. Yes, I say. Good luck with that. That night, Celia calls. Boundaries, huh, she says. Yeah, I mumble. We have them. How that going? Terribly. There are two kinds of Mondays, the mildly annoying kind and the life-ruining kind. Today, definitely the second. It starts with spilled coffee. On me. On his shirt. At the same time. I'm walking into the office, juggling my latte, phone, and a stack of reports when Ethan steps out of his office, right into my trajectory. Time slows down. The lid pops off. Brown disaster, everywhere. Oh my God. His shirt, my blouse, the reports. Caffeine carnage. I'm so sorry. I stammer, grabbing tissues like I'm performing a medical emergency. Ethan just laughs. Actually laughs. It's fine, he says, voice warm with amusement. Though this is becoming a habit. Humiliating myself. Touching me by accident. My jaw drops. What no? He grins. Relax, Maya, it's coffee, not a crime scene. He disappears into his office to change, because apparently CEOs have spare shirts in drawers like it's normal, and I spend the next 10 minutes trying to will myself out of existence. When he returns, sleeves rolled up again because of course, he says. You really should stop apologizing to me so much. I wouldn't have to if you'd stop existing near my coffee, I mumble. His smile is small but dangerous. Noted. Later, while he's in a meeting, I drop off some reports near the door. That's when I hear it, his voice, low and smooth. She's distracting. My brain, oh no. The investor chuckles. Distracting, that doesn't sound like you. Ethan's pause is long enough to make my heart skip. She's talented, he says finally, and smart, but yes, distracting. I freeze in the hallway, torn between melting and fleeing the country. That evening, he finds me packing up my desk. You overheard, didn't you? He asks quietly. I blink. What? No, I don't eavesdrop, that's unprofessional. He just stares. Okay, maybe a little, I admit. He steps closer. Then you already know what I think. I swallow hard, distracting. He nods. Eyes dark, completely. For a second, neither of us moves. The air hums. My heart beats too loud. Then he takes a slow breath and steps back, voice steadier. Go home, Maya, before I forget what we talked about. I grab my bag and practically sprint out, but his voice stays with me all the way home. Distracting. Not beautiful, not smart. Distracting. And the worst part. I don't know if it's an insult or a confession. I'm not in love with Ethan Reed. Nope, absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. Sure, he's smart. And yes, he's got that whole tall, devastating, morally questionable Greek statue thing going on. And okay, maybe he smells like quiet danger and freshly signed contracts, but... Nope, not happening. It's just a little crush. A microscopic blip. A caffeine-fueled hallucination. Except, hallucinations don't send you midnight emails. It starts with one message. Subject, report review. Totally normal, professional, innocent. Until I open it. Ethan Reed. You missed a decimal on page 3. Also, stop working this late. It's my job to be obsessive, not yours. I blink, that's weirdly sweet. So I reply. Me. Noted, and I'll sleep when the report's due. He replies immediately. Careful, Maya, you're starting to sound like me. I stare at the screen. Okay, universe, what's the play here? Because my boss flirting with me over decimals was not on the 2025 bingo card. By the third email thread, we've somehow shifted from numbers to banter. Ethan. Remind me why I hired you. Me. Because I'm brilliant and unreasonably underpaid. Ethan. Can't argue with that. Me. You just did. Ethan. Fair point. Remind me to give you a raise before HR hears this. Wait. Did my boss just say raise? Did I just emotionally combust? Celia, of course, is no help. You're definitely falling for him, she says over FaceTime. I'm not, I insist. I'm just intrigued. She raises an eyebrow. You're writing back and forth midnight emails with your boss about decimal points and destiny. I throw a pillow at the screen. Fine, she says, but when he inevitably kisses you in a moment of high tension, I want front row seats. Celia. What? I'm manifesting. I close my laptop and lie back, staring at the ceiling. The thing is, she's not wrong. He's got under my skin, quietly, dangerously. It's not just attraction, it's curiosity, the kind that burns. I tell myself I can control it. I tell myself it's harmless. But deep down I know. One more accident, one more look. And I won't just be distracted. I'll be done for. It's 10:47 p.m. The office is dark except for the glow of 2 laptops, mine and Ethan. Everyone else left hours ago. We're sitting across from each other at the long table, surrounded by half-empty coffee cups and the kind of silence that hums. I type another line in the report. My hands are steady. My heart, however, is performing interpretive dance. He breaks the silence first. You should go home. You should take your own advice. He looks up, faint smile tugging at his mouth. Touché. Minutes pass. Rain starts again, softer this time, tapping against the windows like it's in on the secret. He leans back in his chair, watching me over the rim of his glass. You're very focused tonight. I'm trying to avoid more coffee incidents. He chuckles low and warm. A wise goal. Then, quieter. You're different when it's just us. I blink. Different how? He tilts his head. Less guarded, more you. Oh, great. My heart has officially decided to betray me. I don't know what you mean, I say, but my voice isn't convincing anyone. He smiles, that small, dangerous curve of his lips. You do. We end up side by side, scrolling through the same document. Our shoulders brush. Once, twice. Static everywhere. He leans in to point at a section, close enough that I can feel his breath near my ear. Right there, he murmurs. I turn my head at the same moment he does. Our eyes meet. The world pauses. No sound, no rain, just that impossible closeness. The quiet, reckless pull of something we've both been pretending not to feel. His gaze flicks to my mouth. Mine does the same. He leans in. So do I. And then, knock, knock. The spell shatters. Sir, Callum's voice. The finance team just emailed the new figures. I jump back so fast, I nearly drop my laptop. Ethan clears his throat, running a hand through his hair. Right, thank you, Callum. The door shuts again, but the moment's gone, fragile, ruined, still alive. I mumble something about leaving and start packing my things. Maya, he says softly before I go. I stop. He hesitates, then just says, get home safe. I nod, heart hammering, pretending I didn't just almost make out with my boss over a spreadsheet. In the elevator, I catch my reflection, flushed, dazed, ridiculous. I'm in trouble, I whisper. And the worst part. I don't even want to be saved. There's something about offices, the fluorescent lights, the shared coffee machine, the way gossip spreads faster than Wi-Fi. And this week, apparently, I'm the headline. It starts with Callum, naturally. Morning, Maya, he greets, leaning on my desk. You and the boss looked very cozy last night. I freeze mid-sip. We were working. Right, he says, drawing out the word like it has 47 syllables. Working, that what the kids are calling it now. I glare. Nothing happened. He grins. Nothing yet. By lunchtime, 2 interns are whispering near the copier. She stayed late again. With him. And by 3 p.m., someone left a lipstick emoji on my office mug. Perfect, just perfect. When I finally gather the courage to tell Ethan, he's standing by the window, tie loosened, eyes on the skyline. There's talk, I say. He doesn't turn. Talk about what? About us. That gets his attention. He faces me, brow furrowing. Us. There is no us, I say quickly. But apparently no one told the rumor mill. He sighs. I'll handle it. Ethan, no. But he's already moving toward the door. 5 minutes later, he's in the bullpen, voice calm but sharp as glass. I expect professionalism, he says. Rumors waste time and respect. Let's focus on work. The room falls silent. Every eye flicks to me. Oh, good. Now I look guilty and special. When he returns to his office, I follow him in, closing the door behind me. That didn't help, I say. He raises a brow. You prefer I ignore it. Yes, or at least don't make it look like you're defending your. My what? He asks, stepping closer. I choke. Employee. His lips twitch. Is that what I am to you? I stare at him. You're my boss. He studies me for a beat too long. Right, of course. Later that day, I try to focus on my work. I fail spectacularly. Because every time I look up, I can feel his eyes on me. Quick, hidden glances that burn hotter than they should. And then, because fate enjoys torturing me, the copier breaks. I'm standing there, covered in paper dust, muttering curses when Ethan appears. Need help? No, I say. Yes, maybe. He steps behind me to check the jam, his hand brushing mine. Static again. I step back, heart hammering. This is reckless, I whisper. He looks up, meeting my eyes. So stop me. I don't. The copier hums to life again, a sharp reminder that the world still exists. I grab my papers and flee before I do something irreversible. At my desk, Callum passes by, smirking. So, rumor confirmed. I throw a stapler at him. That night, as I remove my lipstick in the mirror, I hear Celia's voice in my head. Red lips are dangerous, Maya. I sigh. So, he. And for once, I'm not sure which danger I'm really running from. Or running toward. It's supposed to be a normal workday. Keyword, supposed. Because apparently, the universe doesn't know the meaning of normal anymore. I'm in the company cafe, waiting for my order, when he appears, Daniel Clark, the new executive from the London branch. Tall, charming, way too confident. The kind of man who probably has a fan club in accounting. Miss Hartright, he says, smiling, I've heard a lot about you. I blink, hopefully good things. The best, he says smoothly. Your reports are sharp, and you have this. He pauses, looking directly at me. Focus that's hard to find these days. I laugh awkwardly. That's just caffeine and anxiety. He laughs too warmly, just as Ethan walks in. Perfect timing, really. Ethan's expression doesn't change at first, but his eyes. They narrow like he's assessing a security threat, disguised as a man in a nice suit. Clark, Ethan says coolly, settling in. Perfectly, sir, Daniel replies, still smiling. Just getting to know my colleagues. Of course, Ethan says, though I believe Miss Hart's schedule is rather full. I blink. It is. Ethan turns to me. It is now. There's a pause, awkward, heavy, weirdly charged. Daniel looks between us, clearly amused. Well, I wouldn't want to monopolize her time. Good instinct, Ethan says smoothly. Daniel excuses himself, still smiling, and I turn to Ethan, fuming. What was that? What was what? That territorial glare thing. I don't glare, he says. Yes, you do. You glared like a man whose favorite coffee mug got stolen. He steps closer, calm and maddeningly composed. I simply didn't appreciate the way he was looking at you. Looking at me, I repeat. He was talking to me. Same thing. My jaw drops. Are you jealous? He doesn't answer. He doesn't have to. Because his silence says everything. I cross my arms, trying not to combust. This is insane, I mutter. You don't get to act jealous, you're my boss. He finally meets my eyes, steady, unreadable, intense. Maybe I'm not acting. My brain short circuits. Why you can't just. He smirks, faint but devastating. You asked. Before I can form a sentence, he's already walking away, leaving me standing there, blushing like a complete idiot while my iced latte melts in my hand. Later, Celia calls. So, she says, how work? I groan. My boss got jealous of a conversation. She gasps. He did what? Exactly, who does that? Someone who's in denial, she says, or in love. I throw a cushion across the room. Celia, this is not a rom-com. She laughs. Sweetheart, it absolutely is. And the worst part. When I close my eyes that night, I can still hear his voice, low, calm, and maddeningly real. Maybe I'm not acting. There are lines in life. Like, don't text your ex, don't microwave metal. And don't, under any circumstances, fall for your boss. Guess which one I broke first? It happens on a Tuesday. The day starts with meetings, coffee, and me pretending that the word jealousy doesn't still echo in my head from last week. By afternoon, I've convinced myself I'm fine. Until Ethan calls me into his office. He's by the window when I enter, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, looking like a corporate daydream and a bad decision wrapped into one. Close the door, he says. My pulse stutters, never a good sign. He doesn't turn around immediately. When he finally does, his expression is unreadable. Maya, we need to talk. Oh no. The most dangerous sentence in the English language. About what? I ask carefully. He hesitates just for a second. Us. My brain short-circuits. Us. Yes, he says quietly. Whatever this is. I laugh nervously. This? You mean your habit of glaring at anyone within 10 feet of me? He sighs. You know that's not what I mean. Oh, I do, I say, heat rising to my face. But you can't have it both ways, Ethan. You can't flirt, act jealous, then hide behind your CEO face like nothing happened. He steps closer, slow, deliberate. Then tell me what you want me to do. My breath catches. I want you to stop confusing me. He's inches away now. I'm not confused, Maya. Well, I am, I snap. Because every time I think I can move on, you look at me like. Like what? He asks softly. I swallow hard. Like you want me. Silence. Then. I do. The air disappears. My heart forgets how to function. He's still watching me, voice low and steady. I tried not to. I tried to keep it professional. But every time you smile or argue or walk into my office like you own the place, He stops, jaw tight. I can't seem to stop. My voice comes out smaller than I expect. That's not fair. No, he says, it's not. We stand there, the tension stretched to breaking point, logic screaming one thing, gravity pulling the other. And when he finally reaches out, his hand brushing mine, just barely, I don't pull away. Because every line I swore I wouldn't cross is already behind me. Later that night, Celia's text pops up. Celia, so did you finally tell him? Me, he told me. Celia, OH, my God. Me, yeah, I think we're dating. Celia, girl, that was not slow burn. That was arson. And maybe she's right. Because somehow, against every rule, every risk, every ounce of logic, I'm falling for Ethan Reed. And this time, I'm not even trying to stop. His plan is simple. We'll date quietly. No drama, no rumors, no HR lectures. Just two normal adults with insane chemistry and a shared addiction to coffee and denial. Easy, right? Wrong. 7:45 a.m. I walk into the office, determined to look normal, professional, unsuspicious. Except Ethan walks in exactly 30 seconds later, also holding my favorite latte. The one from the cafe, 5 blocks from my apartment. Callum looks up from his desk. Wow, he says. Coincidence that you both got coffee from the same place. Yes, I blurt. Ethan, the traitor, says calmly, I was just in the neighborhood. Callum raises an eyebrow. The neighborhood, near Maya's building. Ethan sips his coffee. Purely geographical accident. I mentally start digging my own grave. 10:00 a.m. Celia calls. Are you and your boss secretly dating? She asks, before I can even say hello. What? No, of course not. She laughs. So you didn't text me at midnight saying, I can't stop thinking about him, followed by 13 crying emojis. Those were generalized emotions. Right, totally not love, got it. I hang up before she can psychoanalyze me further. 1:30 p.m. Lunch break. I'm eating a salad when Ethan passes by my table, drops a tiny box next to my tray, and walks away without a word. Inside. A chocolate croissant, my favorite. The note on top says, eat something that isn't leaves. I freeze. Callum leans over my shoulder like a vulture. Secret admirer. I shove the box in my bag. No idea. Right, he says, smirking. Totally normal that the handwriting looks like your boss. I'm doomed. 4:00 p.m. Ethan calls me into his office for a quick update. By now, Callum's watching us like it's his favorite TV show. I walk in, shut the door, and hiss, You're terrible at being subtle. He looks amused. You're cute when you panic. Ethan. He leans back in his chair, smirking. You prefer I stop bringing you breakfast. I'd prefer HR not bring us termination letters. He chuckles softly. Noted, I'll be more careful. Then adds, at least in public. My brain malfunctions, so hard I nearly knock over a pen holder. 5:45 p.m. We leave separately. But when I step outside, there he is waiting near the corner, pretending to scroll his phone. Our eyes meet. He grins just slightly. And that's when I know we're not fooling anyone. Because maybe love isn't meant to be a secret. Maybe it's meant to be obvious, loud, chaotic, and a little bit reckless. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Ilya's final text of the night. So when's the wedding? May. Let's survive the HR memo first. Celia. Part 2 title, Accidentally Yours Again. And honestly, she might be right. End of book 1, to be continued in part 2. Accidentally Yours Again.